Jay Runer here, coming to you with some A-Class action with the Renault A110. I wonder why I forgot that. But this is the first time racing it outside of the lab, so let's see how we do. Car handles pretty good. All right, here we go. On the starting off really well. This is a big turbo car, so sometimes you gotta feather the throttle in the beginning of the race. I took a risk by full throttling it and hoping for the best, and I did get the best. Oh my goodness, the first corner carnage as usual. The GP circuit. All right, trying to get through here. Oh, making my way through. All right. Corvette not quick enough where he's losing grip. Oh, good. I thought he was about to tap me in the back. All right. But this car here, the Alpine A110, very, very impressive to me. Oh, going into the back of him. I guess I have a little more handling than the Daytona. But this car, great acceleration, great handling, great brakes. The only thing it lacks is top end, but the acceleration is so good on this car that getting to your top end is very quickly. It's 160, 167, I believe, on my particular build. Now, I don't know much about this car, and this is my first time outside of the lab racing this car, and it had to be the Nürburgring, which I love the Nürburgring. Oh, okay, there we go. Didn't think I was going to stop in time, but like I said, great brakes. Always make up for it. Coming up on the Daytona, trying to put some pressure on him, but I know he's going to have the top end to get away from me. That's the only thing this car lacks. It kind of reminds me of the Stradale a little bit. It has the acceleration, has the handling, has the braking. Uh-oh, off to the side, a little too zealous with the Sylvia. Now it's just me and the Daytona first and second. And quite honestly, I'm surprised the other cars haven't caught up. So it's making me think that this car is maybe a little bit better than what I initially thought. I was thinking, maybe a high-tier car at least. It feels like a high tier. It has good grip. It has the exact same kind of like weight distribution that a Porsche does. It's a 4060, but I think with weight reduction and all that other good stuff, this car ends up being a 63. So that's still not bad. A lot of grip in the back. You very confident in the throttle coming out of corners. It barely ever spins out unless you're just really pushing really hard. The grip is just great. Uh-oh. Daytona going off to the side. Not going to lose it out. Or at least not yet. But the Daytona, you really can't spin that car out. Down gearing a little too much. Still getting used to racing it. I only used a straight track to test out the transmission and cornering. So got a little bit of learning to do in this race, but it seems to be very easy to drive. A lot of confidence in my cornering right now. I don't have to worry about the incoming around. Great brakes, great acceleration. But it seems like from the footage this behind me, it increases very quickly after I come out of a corner and continues to increase as I go. Like I said, this car can only go 167 miles per hour, and I'm hitting about 160 in that area. So I'm literally maxing out the car almost every corner. Ooh. I guess he took that corner a little bit more, with more top end and slid around it. I don't know, maybe better handling. I'm not sure what the person is driving behind me, what he's driving. Okay. Okay, yeah. I think that's the Cuda. Really good car in the A-Class. It's almost so good that it's kind of, you might think it's broken PI a little bit, but most top-tiered leaderboard cars have broken PI, which hopefully in Forza 7 that they correct these things, because them knocking speed from PI as much as they did really made some broken cars, like the Stradale, because it doesn't really take that speed into factor too much. Oh, getting a little bump from the back. Let's focus real quick. We'll get back to that conversation. Oh, rubbing paint, not spinning each other out, and give him some space. He's going to come through spinning it. Just going to keep on giving space. He's going to overtake me. It looks like he was the one who flipped at the beginning of the race. He got flipped at the beginning of the race, so that's definitely a leaderboard car or a top-tier car. I'm not sure if it is or not, because I'm not too familiar with the leaderboards when it comes to A-Class. But definitely, if he got flipped over and he came from last place to here now, then yeah, that's definitely a good car and a good driver behind it. But like I was saying about the PI, and hopefully they fix some of the busted PI in Forza 7, is that the Dodge Viper, the SRT, that car is busted. No car should have 900. I forgot. It's around a 900 range of horsepower and have a 6.1 handling. That there's no reason that a car should have that and the PI be still in the S class. It's just ridiculous. All right, as my sixth gear is not strong. Sylvia. Oh, the Sylvia catching back up again. That's the only thing that sucks about this car. Other than that, this car is great. I can only imagine how it works on smaller tracks. Because when you get it on the long straightaways, this car just does not have the power to do it. I had to go with the big single turbo because the supercharger just didn't give the power and torque I needed. Gonna go on the outside. Just gonna go a little wide. Gonna cut back in for a late apex. Not gonna be able to make up much ground, if any, right there. But I went with the single turbo with this car because the engine, it's the stock engine, and I needed as much power as possible. Downshifted for no reason there. Just when I guess I thought I was gonna slow down more than I did, but I didn't. All right, catching up to Sylvia now. Time to put some pressure on him. And I do have the racing transmission, so I can do my gearing setup, which is very similar to the GT3 cars, which I never really thought about. Hey, why don't I set up my transmission like the GT3 cars? Never dawned on me, because my suspension formulas are set up from the GT3 cars. Why not the transmission also? But hey, you learn. I used to do my transmissions based off of full torque every time you shift, so learning boys. But getting back here, getting closer to the Sylvia, it seems like I might have the better handling or the better acceleration. Not sure of the two. He might have the power, and that might be the only thing that's keeping me at bay, at least. All right, coming through here. Ooh, turned in a little too early. Didn't lose it. Been having a great race this entire time. Oh, Sylvia getting on the dirt. Oh, the Daytona getting spun out. I know the guy in the Cuda. I think it's a Cuda. He's a good driver, but when you're side by side, y'all tend to bump a little bit because it's such a big car. It's understandable. Oh wow! It looked like he cut in front of the Sylvia. I'm not sure why, but he did. Now the thing that's going to get me is that Daytona is going to have to make a move on that straightaway. So I'm going to have to make each one of these last corners as perfect as possible and not waste any speed because I'm going to need every bit to get away from him. I know the Cuda and the Sylvia are gone. Those guys are going to leave me on this straightaway. The only advantage I had this entire race is that I probably had the handling and acceleration to come out of the corners. Yep, and there they go. All right, looking at the footage here, 900. Okay, he's starting to reel me in. Oh boy, those numbers though. Oh God, that number is dropping quickly. It keeps on dropping quicker. Oh boy, can I hold him off? Can I hold him off? 100 feet. He's all over me. 40. Okay, I'm going to take these corners, though. He can't take the corners like I can because I'm going much slower. He's going to have to slow down way. Oh, can I hold him off? Come on, acceleration. He's dropping back. This straightaway. I hope this straightaway is long enough for me to get away from him. He's going to start reeling me in. And we made it. Whew. That was a good race, though. First time taking this car out, it feels great. and the times are very close to each other. It makes me think that it's a top tier, to be honest with you. Not so much a high tier, but a top tier because of how close these times are. Because I know those are leaderboard cars and top tier cars in the A class. So it's kind of like the Stradale if you don't want the stigma of being a Stradale driver. But this has been Jay Runer. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.